All right. Looks like we are live for the season finale. Oof, this is. I should say I'm pretty nervous. I'm just waiting for Adi to join, and then there will be the formal. What's up, everybody? Uh, Adi's here.
Hi, boys.
All right. What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 12 of Kadai Benchu Live. And this is our season finale.
Yep.
Ooh, we did it, Adi. How are you feeling? Pretty good, right?
Yeah. So, guys, before that, we have to say thank you all for this journey, the opportunity you guys have presented. But this season finale is not the end. It's like a cutie break before we
Yeah,
plan for other things, plan for the future, then
exactly. Yeah.
step back.
Yeah, so we'll just be off a couple of weeks. But tea rolls, things like that will still be happening. We're just taking a break off the live, but we will be back full speed very, very soon. So, Adi, what are we talking today?
So, so today is something that we've been preparing for a long time. Have been planning for it. It's one of our most requested podcasts. The podcast about struggles of the artist. So, when we're in school, we always taught about how artists have struggled, and the struggle is what makes the artist. And we want to question that ideology with the people who are struggling, people who have struggled to reach where they are. And yeah, that's basically a gist of what we're trying to encompass in this life. So, what do you think, Puri? What do you think is that struggle, that artist, the drive?
Well, I don't consider myself an artist as much as I'd like to. I don't think I'm someone that pursues the arts. I write software, which I think is a form of art, but it's not creative expression. It's not expression of what you feel. It's more of doing something. Uh, but I think there is struggling in everything. But I think so much of art is reflecting what you feel. I think a large portion of art, at least, is. I think the best art that artists make is usually a reflection of some of what they feel. Uh, and for things like that, the struggle is definitely a catalyst for the quality of their art and what they feel. I always like to cite this one example when it comes to struggling. The struggle that makes uh, the struggle that makes art great. So I've taken this one photo, right, and I've often come. It's always been really hard for me to come to term with the fact that uh, life is an individual experience. At the end of the day, all you have is you. And I think in ninth grade or 10th grade, I took this picture. It was of a beggar. He's on the street and he's handicapped and he's looking at the left, and everybody's walking towards the right. So that that I think, and I think that really made me. That is something that I was trying to understand and maybe try to express something I need to say and something I should have said out loud, and then let me hear that, and then that would have sort of made me come to terms with it. Uh, I think that picture sort of was therapeutic in that sense. I think art in that way is really powerful when you struggle. Yeah. What about you, Adi?
Yeah.
What do you feel? Do you
For me, I've always tried to show something like meaning in art should not come out of accident. I always start my whatever I'm trying to work on, my stories or my scripts. I always start with like a thing I want to say, and then I try to form a storyline in a way to say that thing, right? And I always believe that art is something where you try to say something, but in a nice way. So it's a mix between a message and beauty is where art lies. Art is it's quite hard to exactly say what art is. It's easy to say what art isn't, and it's it's very hard to say what is or isn't a struggle also. I think in a way struggle itself is like a tool many artists use, and that's what we're here for, right? To check if that's a healthy enough tool or not.
Yeah, that and I think one thing I personally want to sort of uh, explore with our guests is uh, what are the actual struggles in the industry. Like, to be a professional, what does it mean today, as with regards to being an artist? Like, I started working recently in software, and I think I've learned a lot very quickly in terms of what it means to be a professional in an industry. Uh, so I'll definitely, and the grass is greener on the other side, maybe always, I don't know. Whenever I talk to artists, they're like, people in software get stable, have a stable income, they have monthly salary, they get to focus on what they love. And whenever you look at an artist, you're like, oh, this is actual creative expression, it's just not, you're not trying to sort of execute something. uh, so I think the grass is greener on both sides. But I think I would really like to know, like, what does it mean to be an artist professionally? What are the struggles? Can anyone do that? That's something I really, really want to know, because I personally think anyone can be a good artist in their regard, but maybe professionally is it different? Do you have to be business smart? Are there things you need to learn? Things like that is something I'd really, really like to know.
So
What do you think, Adi? You're an artist, right? So do you think?
yeah, I mean, I'm a struggling artist, not exactly an artist. I'm a struggling artist, struggling with my art and myself. But like, I don't know, I don't know the business. I don't know anything because like the it's very hard to say how much you should value yourself, and that's one of the biggest struggles. Valuing your art, valuing yourself is very difficult when it comes to art because all you want to do as an artist is try to put out a product. You don't really know how much the product is worth. A very high valuation makes you feel very self-centered, self-confident, but a very low valuation makes you seem very worthless. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly how to articulate this. I'm guessing that's where we come in with our guest. So, so is there anything else, or should we call on our first guest?
Yeah, we can definitely call on our first guest. Our first guest, she's a really talented singer-songwriter, Varshita Ramesh. So without further ado, we'll call her on board.
Yep.
Bye, Adi.
Bye.
Hey,
Hi. How are you doing?
good. How are you? Sorry, I'm
I'm good. I'm good.
balancing phone on my laptop.
Yes. I think learning how to balance your phone correctly is the hardest thing doing a live.
Right.
But yeah, either way, how's lockdown treating you? Has it aided in your art?
Um, on with the difficult questions, from the beginning itself. Has the lockdown aided in my art? I feel like the first 2, 3 months, yes. Now I think I'm really taking it easy. Like I'm not even trying to push it because I think in the beginning I was really, forced to feel like I had to create in order to feel like a legitimate artist, or because everyone was there were all these posts about, oh, if you don't hustle right now, then you're never gonna hustle, and I just think that whole ideology is quite toxic for artists and it's not fair. Um, but yeah, so I was creating a lot in the beginning, and now I'm just creating when I feel like it.
That's good. Yeah. Uh, so yeah, I think since we just went in head in. So let's just. How do you start out as an artist? Like, what is your story?
Okay, so I had a very interesting start. I was when I was 13, I moved to India from Thailand, and I couldn't find a school at that time yet, and I didn't have enough time. So my mom was like, "Do you want to go to music school?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, I want to go to music school." And I went to KM Music Conservatory when I was 13, and the second youngest person there was like maybe 18 or 19 years old. So I was in college,
Oh,
high school. Um, and in music college, obviously, I trained in opera for like a year, which was intense because I was so young. I had no idea what classical music was, but then it really aided, in my education. And that's where I started performing and writing. I mean, I've been writing music for a long time, but that's when I looked at people and I was like, okay, these people are studying music to have a career in it. And that's when I realized that it was possible. And then I joined APL a year after that, studied music in APL, and did my A levels and I GCSEs in music. And yeah, from then it just took off because I moved to Bangalore and I moved here for college and then started performing in venues and performing my original music at venues. Because before that, I was
Okay.
doing cover gigs anyway. But once I moved to Bangalore, I was playing like my own music everywhere. And yeah, I guess that's my story. But yeah.
That's really nice. But like, when did that, student of music relationship change into, okay, this might be something I can do for the rest of my life or every day?
I
That
don't think you ever stop being a student of music. You don't. It's
fair
just
enough.
if I could, I'd go back to music school. I always regretted doing the course that I did in university in Bangalore. Although now I look at it differently, but for a long time I really was like, oh man, I should have gone to music school. I really should have. I really should have gone and done my undergrad in music, and I've been struggling with that a lot, like being a student, and I struggle with it a lot more now because you sit here and people are telling you like you have so much time in your hands, like just go study online, like do it online. But for some reason, the pressure is so much right now that I don't even feel like going on Udemy or Coursera and studying music theories. Even though it's for free, like it's, it's just I think that's also a struggle, right? Finding the motivation to want to be better.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
As someone who writes software, I can definitely tell you need motivation to do.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
need motivation for
Yeah.
everything, and motivation can be the hardest thing to find right now, especially when we're living amidst pandemic where nobody wants to, everybody wants to think positively, but it's like sometimes you're sitting there and I'm like, okay, I'll release this music, but for what? For what? You get
Exactly. Exactly.
these
Yeah.
dialogues in your brain, and yeah, it can be quite stressful. But yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, I understand that. So, see, when did you start? You said you're performing originals, right? So, when
Yeah.
did that start? Like, when did you start writing songs, or how did that
Um,
happen?
I was maybe like I've been writing songs since I was like maybe 8, 9 years old. It's always been in.
Oof.
I started writing poetry, and then that moved into songwriting, and now I continue writing. Like I guess it started that early, but then it just develops as you grow up. And I've dabbled with so many genres at this point. That's why I separated the identity of like Varshita and Huyana, right? Because with Varshita, I have a particular like a songwriting style that I write as myself, which I really wanted to separate myself from because I felt like I was really, I don't know, I didn't like it. And so now as Huyana, I like to collaborate with different people, try like completely new things, and I can see that my songwriting is growing, it's developing.
That's awesome. That's so. So you said it's important to sort of separate. I think your art and the art itself. Is that what you're saying? I think
Uh,
when did you learn that?
no,
Like, was there? Okay.
wait, let's rephrase that question.
Yeah. Okay. So you said you had to separate Huyana and Varshita, right?
Yeah.
When did you learn you have to do that, or why did you learn you have to do that? Like, was there an
Well,
incident
honestly,
that triggered?
nothing. I mean, okay. So I think at some point I was not being able to find my sound. Like I didn't know what the Vashta sound was, right? And
Hmm.
I was listening to all these other singer-songwriters, and they had this kind of like sound, and mine was just all over the place. Like I didn't know what was going on. Either that or I didn't like what was going on at that moment. I didn't like that
Okay.
perhaps my songwriting was really simple. And now I look at it and I'm like, okay, that's kind of a good thing. Simplicity is key. But then at that point I think I was dealing with feeling like I wasn't a good enough songwriter because I wasn't playing some chords or I wasn't, challenging myself vocally in many of these songs because I was limited as a instrumentalist because I don't think I'm as good of a ukulele player or a guitar player as I am a vocalist, right? And when I was writing these songs by myself and doing everything by myself, it just seemed like there was no scope for growth. So when I separated Varshita from and then decided to make music as Huyana, and then I was interacting with so many other musicians and deciding that this was going to be a very collaborative space and a very experimental space. I feel like I feel better about it now because I feel like my options are endless and I can separate it from my very personal identity, which can sometimes be very intimate and very like personal. Like I said, you don't want to tap into some of those feelings. So I like to be able to separate myself from that. If that makes any sense.
No, I get you. I think like there's a huge pressure that's just taken off. You know what I mean? You just do when you're not worried if it's good or bad. You just
No,
do it
I
for
mean,
the
I
sake
am
of doing
worried.
it.
It's good. I definitely
Well,
care.
okay, I didn't mean it that. I didn't
Yeah.
mean it that way. But what I meant was, you know what I mean? There's not a pressure to like, is this me? Am I just
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think with photography that happens a lot.
I can be anything, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. That's great. That's really cool, dude.
Can
So,
be
how do
yourself.
you put out your music for the first? I'm sorry.
Sorry, I was just reading the comments. Kevin says, generally a better time to release music since the music isn't really there anymore. Yeah, for sure. It's a great time to do music. But as an artist right now, do I feel like like me personally, do I feel like I should, I just don't. I just don't. I personally don't because I have a lot of anxiety and I don't want to at this point put myself through that, like, oh, this is the right time to do it, like go out there and put your music out. Yeah, do it if you can. If you can't, it's okay, take a breather.
Yeah.
You're not gonna like,
Yeah.
you're no less of an artist is basically what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
I think
Stan.
I think it's very important.
Yeah, sorry, now I'm just
I think it's very important. Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. Uh, I think it's very important to not treat art like you would business. You know what I mean? You okay? This is the right time to release music, or at least to make art. Maybe releasing music, or I think with I don't know. I don't have a lot of experience. I'd probably not make a call. But for me, I think when I take photos, or it's not something okay, golden hour. I'm gonna go take photos. It's more like okay, I feel like seeing what's up in the market, and then I just go in there and take pictures of Coimbatore market. That's what I do, and then and then maybe a few revisions later, I'm like, okay, lighting's best during golden hour. Then go to Coimbatore market during uh, golden hour.
yeah,
That's sort of my process.
yeah. I feel
Uh,
like what you said about not making art business. Well, at some point we all have to make money through our art, and I think that's where, for me, example, like as an artist, a manager comes through, right? The whole point about building a community is that we're not made of just people who perform, right? There are people in the back end. There are so many people who work so hard to get shit up on stage, to get shit up online, to you know, just we're talking the importance of building a whole community. And we're not just pushing artists here, we're pushing managers, we're pushing promoters, so many people that are involved, and it's their job to deal with the business. So you as an artist deal with your art and they deal with the business side. But until you become big enough to be able to hire a manager or get signed by somebody, you have to do these things by yourself. So at some point, yeah, when you're creating music, it shouldn't be about, oh, will this sell? But then again, like, my opinions are so conflicted because I don't know what to say about that. What I personally feel is I don't look at music as like my sole income, right? I'm not looking at music as my sole income right now. I work as a content writer and I have like some sort of different streams of income coming in. But if someone were to focus entirely on their music and they wanted to make money out of it, then of course they have to look at it as a business, right? You have to be realistic about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I can understand that.
And I think it's really
So
unfair to look at someone and be like, oh, your music isn't authentic or it's not genuine because it just seems so commercialized. Like, no, it's their music, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice. That's some good thought, I must say. So how do you first start putting out your music? Like, how did it all, like, was it just straight up Spotify, or were there,
Um,
you know?
so I put out Stay close to 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago. Yeah. Um,
Hmm?
and I had just started university, and by this point, I'd written so many songs. I was like, it's the new year, it's January the 1st, and I have to put
Hmm?
something out. Like, I just have to. And
Hmm?
what I decided to do was that I contacted a friend and I said, hey, here's a song and I want to do it. And I invested no money into this, right? It was just a 1 day recording, did everything in one shot, did it in less than like 6 hours, and got it mixed and mastered within like the next 2 days, and then put it out. Like, literally did not put any effort into it, like I have with my other two songs, right? Um,
Okay. Hmm.
and this song comes out and it does really well. And at this point, see, I don't really get numbers. That's one more thing I'm thankful for, is that I don't want to fuck with numbers because they really matter, and I don't want to be inferior because of numbers. But just in comparison to the rest of my music, this song has close to 100,000 streams at this point. Yeah, it has
Hmm.
92,000 streams or something. Okay, which is crazy. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I effort into it, or like how I feel like about, and then you take is it you, and then you take in my head, and I really invested time and money and energy, you know, and they're not doing like half as well according to numbers as something like it. And I guess I just decided I wanted to do something, and I didn't think about it, and I just put it out there because it was something that I had as a goal in my head, and it just came true together. That's where like many things like playlisting and stuff come into play, right? Because it was on many playlists, and that's where most artists change. I'm sorry, I went all the way around that question.
No,
I
it's
don't
all good.
even
It's
know
all good.
what the question was
But
anymore. I just like, yeah.
no, it's all good. It's just about free flow conversation. That's what the podcast is about. It's not super structured. So we appreciate the sort of conversation. Uh, but how do you? But like you said, you put out. You just like 6 hours. You're done recording. Next day it's mixed, and you just put it out there. But like, how did it feel that what you did is now out there in public? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
so how was
definitely.
that feeling? Were you anxious, or were you just like, I can't wait for them to listen? How was that?
You know what? Actually, back then when I released the first song, I was like, I can't wait for them to listen. Like, I believe in my music. I think this is great. And I after it's been 3 years, and I can definitely say that I've changed as a person, where I have become a little more skeptical about myself, and I feel like a bit not so sure of myself, and I feel like now when I release, I'm a lot more worried about what people will think. But back then, when I put out Stay, I didn't give a shit. I was like, take it. This is my music, and I want people to know music, and I put it out there, and I didn't even care. And I would like to maybe tap into a little bit of that attitude towards music again, because now I feel like it's a bit more like, oh, will these people like it, or will those people like it? Will these musicians like it? Which I think is my biggest problem, is that I feel like I make decisions. I'm more worried about what other musicians will think than like listeners. I mean, you know, it can be really nerve
Yeah,
wracking. Yeah.
that's nice. That's nice. So another thing with regards to making your art, right? This is a question Adi and I wanted to ask pretty much all the guests. So like, it's a pretty heavy question. So take your time if you need to. But like, are you making the art that you want to, or are you making the art you have to? Like, there was another comment that also sort of
Yeah.
went into that.
Wait, am I stuck? Have I?
Yeah, I think we're having a small technical difficulty. Uh, do you want to reconnect? Yeah, you're stuck. Okay, wait. We, okay, you're back. Yeah, this is good. I think you're back. Okay. We will, we will be back in like 30 seconds. Oh wait. Okay, okay, cool. Wait, I don't think I can hear you. Okay, we will reconnect. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys.
Sorry, I have no idea when.
It's all good. It's all good. It happens. Instagram isn't
Um,
the most reliable source.
yeah.
You know, we make podcasts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on.
Do I feel like I'm making the music I want to, or the music that I have to? I think this takes me back to my point where I don't look at music as my main stream of income right now. And so I don't think that I'm
Mhm.
that I have to. I'm just doing things that I want to. And right now I'm just really stepping out of my comfort zone, trying out all kinds of different things. And so I definitely think that I'm making music that I want to.
That's nice. That's nice here. Yeah. But have you ever have you ever wondered? I mean, are you scared of making music that you'll just need to make just so it does better? Are you like completely averse to, like, I mean, you mentioned it's something you're not completely averse to, I guess, but are you scared you're going to be forced into this place we're not going to enjoy what do you
No,
make?
no, I don't think so, because I think that me as an artist itself, I'm looking at different genres of music differently. Like at some point, I used to be that person who was like, "Oh my God, pop music," which is really silly. Like, what is pop? Pop is popular music. It's just things that work. Like, okay, it's if it doesn't work for you, it's okay. There is a whole that's the thing. We have so many people in this world who listen to music. right? There are people who don't listen to popular music. There are people who listen to jazz only. There are people who listen to funk only. There are people who listen to metal only. You have your own set of ears no matter where you go. And you can't sit there and bitch about popular music. It's not yours. Like,
Yeah.
it's not yours. Like, you don't want to tap into it, then don't tap into it. It's okay. But find your listeners in those like genres too, because they're not easy to find either. You know. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think that I'm averse to anything. And if I'm averse to something, I would hope that I'm in a position in the future to be like solid about it and say like I don't want to do it. You know. But
Ah,
I think that in
that's really
general, I'm quite experimental. I'm okay with doing it, like trying different things.
that's nice. So so if I was
Pop
an
is
artist, like if I was a
pop
musician,
is amazing. I agree that pop is amazing. I think it's it is good. It is good. No matter what, art is not easy to make, man. No matter what, even 4 chords, it's not easy. It's nothing's easy.
and there's a reason why pop. If so many people are listening to pop, there's something really nice about it. You can't deny that, right? At
Yeah,
least
it's
that's always been my yeah.
catchy. It's oh gosh, I really
That's
hope
great.
this internet thing doesn't happen again.
Ah, it's good. It's good. It's good. There was like a small microsecond. I got a little worried as well, but then it speaks itself. Yeah. But I just have one question for you. Like, if I was a musician today, right, and I was starting out, how would I start putting out my music? Would I like? Does it depend where I live? Does it change depending on where I live? And like you said you performed a lot after you came to Bangalore. Was that a huge factor in how you played things? So, what would be your advice for someone who says, "Okay, I want to try this music thing out"?
um. Okay, so when I moved to Bangalore, it was a different environment because I'd come from Chennai, and Chennai isn't as well. Well, well, Bangalore had a better scene, right? Bangalore had a
Yeah.
better and a bigger scene, one that had just been a bit more, had more venues for starters, right? And I feel like it does depend on where you are, of course. Sometimes if you're in a place like Bombay, it might be easier for you to explore different opportunities than it might be in Chennai. But then there are still opportunities, right? It's just that they'll be small scale and you have to start off small scale. If you really want to perform, I mean, right now, this conversation that we're having is completely it has to be completely different considering that we're living in this pandemic and you can't go out to an open mic and everything is virtual, the experiences are different. Even music business for that matter, if we're talking about releasing music, everything is different. You know, you're not looking to release music to book a tour or play NH7 or play Supersonic. We're just depending on your streams right now. You're just trying to reach more people online. So I think if you want to do the music thing, do the music thing. Nobody can stop you. Just go out there. It's so easy to release music. Just check out CD Baby, you check out DistroKid, you check out Believe Music. There are so many distributors who are coming to the Indian market, and they are not that expensive. And you can release anything. You can release acoustic music. You can release covers. You don't even have to release original music. You can release covers. You can be a cover artist for all. Get on that YouTube channel. Do it. Instagram is like the world right now. So there is nothing stopping you. Maybe except like your own like insecurity. So that's just something that you need to tackle.
Something I really agree with. I think, especially after things like Instagram, where you don't. It's not just you have a profile online; you have a platform online. The way Instagram is designed is that every single person on it has a platform on it, and on like basically something I think 800 million people use. So that's quite powerful. And yeah, I completely agree. I think the democratization, because after digital sort of took over everything, right? With music, photography, uh, things have gotten really democratized. You can direct. I always say this: the next Martin Scorsese or the next big director will be someone who shoots on their iPhone, right?
Yeah,
Because they just have their phone, they'll edit something, and
exactly.
next thing you know, they're nominated for an Oscar.
Exactly. So that takes me back to what I was saying about Stay as a song as well, right? There is beauty in the simple. Sometimes it's the simple that gets you places. Sometimes it's the things that I'm not saying don't put effort, like put effort, but then sometimes it's the things that really come from a different place and a place of ease and a place of just like, okay, this is just honesty. This is raw. This is raw. This is just as it is. Maybe those are the things that really get noticed because That is what is quintessentially you, right? Now, do I feel like sometimes I'm going through an identity crisis with this whole Huyana Varshita thing, where I feel like I'm not being genuine, I'm not being like realistic, I'm not being not realistic, I'm not being honest? Yeah, I totally feel that. But at this point, I have like a fuck it attitude. For most, so I'm just like, it's cool. I'm gonna do it, and then we'll see what happens. It's just my music, right? If it comes back and bites me in the ass, then cool. I'll learn from it. Maybe write more music about that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Make use of every single opportunity, right? Yeah.
But
But
we also have a lot of support, man. Like, for example, like this podcast, a lot of people who are tuning in right now, many people are from APL, right? And that school played a huge role in me being a musician today. Like, the teachers that, we had the honor of like studying under, they played a huge role in who I am today. And the fact that I have a community now with like all these people, like, for example, I met Krishna online. I didn't know who he was, right? I met him online.
mm,
And now I'm looking at and like Elanir, all these people. I'm just like, wow, like there has been so much since I have graduated, and it's just going to keep continuing, and it's building communities in like a small way instead of like
mm,
ways to grow as a small artist is to make friends with other small artists and then grow up together and you support each other, and that's the only way. It's you have to share if you want to get something. You have to share. And I
yeah.
think that's what's happening right now. I can see a lot of that community building happening at this point, and I would really like for there to be something a little more solid with the school, with APL, because I think a lot of great talent comes out of it, and there should be some sort of more focus on that music part of it or the art part of
Yeah.
it, because I really think that this school does way more than other schools, like definitely.
Yeah.
And
100%. I'll give you that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think community building is so super important. Like the fact that we got this podcast up and running in like so the story of this podcast that it was an impromptu thing we decided to do over a live. We're like, okay, let's make this into a podcast.
yeah,
And then we have 12 episodes, essentially all our guests. Some way or the other, we know them because of APL. And
yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's
And it's
community
crazy.
building is just key.
Because you and I as individuals have not interacted in maybe in the past 4 or 5 years.
Exactly.
Like I haven't like I was watching the live and I was like, who is this guy? And I was like, holy shit, this is cool. Like I remember you as like, this like bubbly, like small, like person. It's crazy. It's just insane how much we've all grown. But yeah.
True,
This
true,
is
true.
but I think this podcast is really awesome. I don't know what insight I have to offer. I feel like because right now everything that I think about is muddled. I don't have clear opinions on much. But yeah, I guess it's
Well,
fun to talk about anyway.
yeah, it is nice. It's nice talking to people. So yeah, I think one of the things we were talking about when we were, preparing for the podcast, you said the importance of knowing different platforms to release music through. Uh,
Yeah.
is that, and you said like first put yourself out there, find opportunities, just do it. But you want to touch on that a little bit, like what are the important paths and
Okay,
things you
so
recommend?
I'm gonna just tell you about my experience with
Mhm.
distribution. Like I've only used CD Baby, so I don't know anything else. I do know
Okay,
that there are other.
before you start, like for the non-music people, like what is a distributor? How does this
Okay.
work?
So a
Hmm.
distributor is like a middleman almost. So if you want your music on Apple Music or Spotify or Ghana or any of these like tons of platforms that we have out there, Google Play, you go through a distributor. You go on their website, you upload your music, and they take maybe a couple of days up to like 2 weeks, and then they put it out for you everywhere. And
Hmm.
in a way where you CD baby is what it's called. Like CD in the baby. Um, and then your music shows up everywhere, and the more streams it gets, the money for these streams gets directly accounted for, like sent to your account, which is not much. I don't know the math exactly, but it's like thousands, thousands for you to be really making a living through just releasing music, which is why people did
Okay.
when I was performing, I was getting like money. Like obviously, you get paid for these gigs, but then when you stream, it
Hmm.
costs things like maybe 0.5. I don't know 0. I don't know like I don't know
Like really, really small.
50
Yeah.
paisa, And
We
you
get
know,
that.
one stream is maybe like 50 paisa. Like it's nuts. But yeah.
Mm. Yeah,
What was
but like,
please do.
yeah, I know. But like, what is it? Like, what are these different? So one is the distributor, but I think you want to talk about the importance of knowing the different platforms to release your music through.
That's what I meant. I meant different distributors.
Okay.
Like you weigh out your options and you decide what's best for you, what's affordable, and you go out and do it. You can release music for free if you want. You know, you can release music on SoundCloud for free. You can put out music on YouTube for free. You can get people to either pay for your music or not. It just depends on what you want to do. A lot of people put out music for free and then charge later once they have like a following. So you can just, it's up to you. But either way, now people are paying for their streaming platforms, right? People are paying for their like Spotify. Yeah, there you go. It's really shit. People pay for Spotify and Apple Music, so they can stream your music, and it just works out for everybody. But if you want to support an artist directly, then maybe like buy merch if they have merch, or buy tickets to their online gigs right now, even if you can't show up. Like right now, a really close friend of mine is performing. She's probably done with her gig already, but she's also from Chennai, and I couldn't make the gig. But then just buy the ticket because that's what matters right now.
Yeah.
And if you can't buy the ticket, share the music. Just share. It's one post. It's free. And I think this is something that we've been telling people for such a long time. But it's,
No, I
you
completely get you. Like,
can't complain.
yeah, consumption doesn't. You got to at least share. If you want to support somebody, at least share their stuff. Is what,
Yeah.
because consumption is yeah. Not all consumption pays well. Very, or rather, should say, very few forms of consumption pays well.
Yeah.
So please,
Yeah.
at least if you think something's cool, please share it. So yeah, I'm completely on board on that. Yeah. And one of the questions I want to ask, like, do you think music is possible as a career right now? And like amidst the pandemic, but even after the pandemic, we can look at that. But one thing I really want to know, can anyone become a musician? That's something I personally, because I've tried music in the past, did not go really well. But I do believe anyone, when they put in the hours, they can become skillful at it.
Yeah, I suppose. For sure. Anybody who put in work, I'm pretty sure you can do it. It's just, is music a viable option right now? See, all these questions are so loaded. Like, I feel like I don't have, like, I shouldn't be answering these questions because what do I know? But I just know that right now, how I was making music work for me isn't working, you know?
Okay.
Um, like, I used to do gigs and that's not happening, right? And I used to do
Hmm.
regular gigs, maybe 10 or 12 a month, and that was like a stream of income for me, but maybe that's not happening. I'm not doing 12 online gigs, right? So it's not like some sort of like
Yeah.
comparison that's even possible.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
I'm not doing like so many things, man. So many like random things that you can have the opportunity to do when you can meet people or go to venues are not happening right now. So would I personally think that I would think of music as a career right now? No, I wouldn't. But then
Hmm.
this is the time for people to build their content. Like this is not the time for you to make money. Like you're not gonna make money right now. Highly doubt it. If you do, great. But this is the time for you to build your portfolio because people are watching. Because people are noticing. People are spending time on their phones and their laptops and whatever. They're listening. They're looking out for you. And this is the time for you to really put out content regularly to build a following. So might not be the right time to make money through music, but definitely is the right time to build your repertoire and build your audience.
That's really cool. Yeah. I think I agree. Yeah. I think more. One more thing is people don't have money right now to pay. That's something I've noticed as well.
That is true.
It's
A lot of
people.
people.
Yeah, I think a lot of people willing to support these things don't have the means to. So that I
Yeah,
think right now is yeah. So if you're in the position where you can make stuff and just put stuff out there, or get yourself known, I think you should definitely
you should.
uh
Yeah.
yeah.
And I also think it's really important for anybody, not just a musician, but anybody, any young person straight out of school or straight out of college, get to know as many, like build up your skills, man. Do like learn things. Do like just so much that can make you money right now. You know, there's so many things that you can learn for free that can make you money right now. And this is something that all kind of artists need to do, especially they're running their own businesses. They need to learn how to like understand how maybe social media marketing works. And if you have an understanding of that, maybe you can help someone else do the social media marketing. You know, just a bunch of random
For
skills
sure.
that you can pick up right now to really make it work for you.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, having having a skill set that is generally useful is, I don't know. I don't know if it's, yeah. I mean, do what you love for sure, but if you
Yeah,
have something that is useful, make use of it.
yeah.
I
Like
completely agree.
I don't
Yeah,
I don't like it when people say, jack of all trades, master of none. Like it doesn't make sense. I'm totally a jack of all trades. I don't think I'm a master of
yeah,
anything, but I don't feel bad about it. You know, I don't think
uh,
anyone should. Yeah,
yeah. True. Yeah.
multitasking and all is
Okay.
cool, but at the end of the day, you really need to like learn how to relax and just take it easy. And the main part of my struggle as an artist is going to be more about how I talk to myself and how I treat myself and how I treat my music more than anybody else. So I really think the most important lesson to take away from this whole thing is that you need to be easier on yourself and you need to give yourself the space to grow. And there's no such thing as like a good artist. Like you don't who creates those definitions? Just define what good art is for yourself. Define what you want to be. Your only competition should be you, right? And I think that's something that I'm trying to understand and just live by every day.
Okay. On that, I really want this. This is something I ask a lot of my artist friends. Right. Where is it that you want to go? Like, do you want to like be like a really famous musician, or I don't know. Like, I don't. Like, what is this role that you're trying to achieve in life
Like, what's my
as a
dream?
musician?
Like, what's my
Yeah.
dream?
What's your dream? Yeah. What's your dream? Yeah.
It's so strange, man. I feel like, you've caught me in this like zone in my life where I'm in like limbo, where I don't really know how to answer this question because what like, dude, I would love to be like a successful recording and performing artist, like definitely. But I also feel like I'm really interested in the I'm really interested in making art work for other people also. Like I'm really interested in artist management. I'm really interested in festival management. So there are many things that I want to learn right now. So I can't really answer that question. But I do know that my dream is to live like a country life, you know, do what I love, not be working like a dog for no reason, just like working hard and doing what I want to, making money and living happily, just living happily. That's it. That's my goal. I don't think my goal
Yeah.
would be like, oh, I want to top like Billboard. I just want to be happy. That's my goal. Yeah.
I cannot relate to that more because I think all my life I've been like, okay, I'm gonna be like the next Steve Jobs, bro. That's my life. Like that. That's the reason I'm born. But I think like off late, suddenly I'm just like, it's not. When you sort of fix that, when you operate within that box, operate
Yeah.
within that box. What ends up happening, you sort of restrict yourself, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden you're learning. Oh my God, there are so many things that are actually out there, and I like doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. And why do you
Like,
have to be the next Steve Jobs when you can just be Purvesh?
oof.
Just
Yeah. No, but
that's fine. And there's just so many things that you can explore when you don't limit yourself. And exploring is fun. Figuring out who you are as a person as you explore new things is fun. So I recommend it highly.
yes. Yes. Okay. Noted. Varshita proves. Okay. Noted. But okay, on a couple of other things we want to ask all the artists is like, were your family and friends always supportive? What did they say? Did they ever did they ever question this path you went down? Words. uh, your question. Okay, we're having Instagram technical difficulties again.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, no, okay, we're fine. I think so. Right? No, okay. All right. We will add Varshita Ramesh again. No, no, one sec. I can't hear you though. Wait. Wait, I still can't hear you. This is bad. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. We will fix this. Guys, don't go anywhere. We're witnessing live podcasting. So this is some great BTS stuff that we intend to release once we're really big or something like that. We're getting exclusive. Okay.
Is it working now?
Yes, it's working now. Yes, awesome. Okay. I'm just going to drop the timestamps. So it's going to be easier to edit it out.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. Good Lord. I don't know if it's my internet.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Instagram is also very iffy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. What was the question I wanted to ask you? Yeah, I wanted to ask you like, were your like family members and friends always supportive? Was there ever a point where they questioned what you were doing and things like that?
No, I have had, thankfully, very very supportive family members and friends. And at no point has anyone told me like what do you do? You know? In fact, my dad and mom were like, "Why are you going to Mount Carmel and doing community? Like, why aren't you guys still studying music?" Because I got into that program, and they were like shocked. They were like, "Why aren't you doing it?" I was just like, "Oh, I want to try new things and I want to do different things." And I regretted it for a long time, but then now I don't. I'm pretty glad that I stuck by my decision. A lot of skills that I've picked up now that I wouldn't have if I had picked up.
How important do you think that is, though? Like to have a supportive.
Support? Oh my God,
Yeah.
it is so important. It is so important. Like, I can't imagine what the people who can't do music, like, who don't have the option, like, of even attempting to do it, like, I can't imagine what they're going through. Like, I think that's like really oppressive and really bad. So I think support is really important. And if you know someone who doesn't have like a family, then it's your duty to be a really supportive friend.
Yeah, I 100%
It
agree with that. Yeah. So,
really
yeah,
is.
you have. Yeah. Yeah. Agree. Yeah.
But
Okay, I
see,
think
being
we're.
supportive, yeah.
Yeah. No, go on. Sorry. Go on.
Gonna end that on being supportive doesn't mean you just keep telling your friends that they're good. You know, you don't. You give them criticism, like you give them, like you critique them. You tell them what you think, what you honestly think, because that's what's gonna help them in the long run. And I feel like not only do I have friends who are supportive in the sense where they like validate me, but they always tell me when they think something could sound better or I could sound better. And I think that is important, right? It's also important for you as an artist to be able to take criticism because everyone's going to criticize you whether you like it or not.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, but as an artist, this is something I personally suffer with. Like, how do you tell apart constructive criticism and just maybe someone bashing your work? And like, how do you internalize it and take it and maybe grow from it?
I mean, how much do you respect the person who's giving you the advice?
Okay.
You
I
know,
mean, okay.
like
But
it's
like, let's say
really
I respect the person a lot, but I just think that they are wrong. Then how? Then what do I do?
then you don't have to you can take what you want from it, right? You don't have to take exactly what they say into heart. Like you take bits and parts of it that work for you. But at some point you also need to, I mean, you can't just sit there and think like your art is amazing and like no one should criticize it. Even if you respect someone so much, you shouldn't. Um, I think it's important to understand that maybe sometimes is important and that it is going to affect your art in like a better way. But yeah, man, see, that's the thing. You ask all these difficult questions, and I'm like, there are like five different answers to this. I don't have just one answer. There's like this, but, you know, I can go into layers and layers. So I feel like I don't even know. Yeah.
Oh, I'm learning a lot, so don't think don't think no, don't think you're giving me the right answer. But we're sort of at the last 10 minutes of the live, and I
Okay.
heard that you'd love to perform. So,
Um.
uh,
Well, I think
and I
I'll
see
just do.
the. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, wait. Did you say something?
I said sorry. Did you say something?
No, I said sorry. Did you say something? So I think okay. We have 10 more minutes left, and Varshita would love to perform. So,
I
ladies and
think
gentlemen.
I, I think because of this entire conversation and because of how I've just been talking about my journey as a musician, I think I would like to play Stay because I think it's what got me here in the first place. And I think it's a song that people here know.
Yeah.
So I'll just stay and hope the internet doesn't crash.
Internet fix there.
sky and the moon on this is bright and it's colorful today. And you're on my mind and you were yesterday, and it seems like you're here today. And oh, I just wanna say, I, oh, I, oh, I don't want you away. Am I stuck?
Oh no! Okay, this is Instagram. Zuckerberg, I swear to God, you really need to figure out who's. Okay, wait, you're back. Say something.
I swear.
Okay, this is good. This is good.
It's okay. I really have to upgrade my act, and I need to really up my game. I'm like, yeah, this is really sad. I can't even.
Uh,
This is why I
I
don't
think
go
Facebook
live.
needs to
I
upgrade their
don't go
engineering
live.
team if anything.
You'll never catch me.
No, it's just Facebook's engineering team real shit. That's all I think is
But
really
it's okay.
happening.
Stay if you want to. If you want to
Exactly.
hear Stay, it's out on all platforms. Like, please go check it out.
And
And
you have to
same
support
with my other
artists. You gotta
music.
see.
I
Yeah.
have 3 songs out. Listen to them without the internet being a bitch. So go out there and check it out. And
Yes.
thanks for having me. This is really cool. And
Yes.
yeah, it's nice to catch up again.
Yeah, and it's really nice. I'm not gonna lie. It genuinely feels like annual day. I'm not gonna lie, because like we've been preparing for this podcast like basically for the
Oh,
whole month because like everything else we're like okay we'll figure it out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But I think this has just been a whole month effort. Like everyone's just nervous, and then you're performing. So it's really nice. Brings back
feels
some
like
really good memories. Oh no, she's stuck. No. Okay, this is good. Okay.
I'm going. Peace out. On
Yeah.
that
No.
note,
I think
goodbye.
that's the sign.
Catch you
Yes.
later.
All right, guys. See you. See you. See you. All right, guys. That was Varshita Ramesh. And if you like this podcast, if you like these kind of conversations, follow Kadai Benchu. This you can just tap the yellow color logo around here, and you can just click. You can just go to a profile, follow it if you're not following it already. I will add Adi now for some closing thoughts, and after which we're going to have our second guest. We are waiting for Adi. Oh no. Ali declined. Oh no. Again, hopefully you're enjoying this content. This is season finale, so a lot of effort here. Adi is back. Adi, wanna come?
Hi guys, so welcome back. Oh my god, that was so good. I was actually listening to the rest of the song as you were calling. That's why I declined the first call. I was like, shit, I should listen to the song fully before I get back on live. And I was listening to the long song. Yeah, guys, please go Spotify. Listen to. We'll probably link it in the description. Yeah,
Yes, we will
really good
definitely.
song for my playlist.
Varsha has some top song. I like this episode is really special to me right now because it genuinely feel like the I'm actually feeling like how I feel during annual days. Like I don't know because so much excitement. I think for us, leading up to this podcast because we're having so many guests on, it was super interactive and we had to put ourselves out there. And then I think after she performed, just brings back some good memories. And like I said, I'm really happy that it was. I'm really happy with the community we're building with Kadai Benchu.
See, like, we have a lot of things planned for the next schedule, but then we've been planning the podcast for a long time, as Purvesh said. And like, I think it's going pretty well. This podcast is like McDonald's. Sriram was saying, I'm loving it. Aw, thanks, guys.
Aww.
So we have a lot planned for you guys. So closing comments, right? I'm completely amazed by what she said about the quarantine thing and the quarantine and the arts. People have such pressure right now to perform and like put out their art because basically they say art, you need time to do art. How much more time can you have than in a lockdown? And like people are questioning where's the art? Like where are the performers? Where are the albums? Where are the photos? Where are the stories? Well, it's quite hard to do any of these things when you don't have your own mental space. And I think that's something that lockdown has taught us to like uh, really relish the times when we didn't have this lockdown. I think like you, hey, is my voice echoing?
No, your voice. Okay, it's fine for me.
I think I am also hearing an echo. Is there an echo?
Now speak.
Can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me properly, guys?
Or wait, maybe I'll attach headphones, and that will be.
Yeah. Sorry for technical difficulties today, guys.
Wow, so many technical difficulties. Surprisingly, the past few episodes have been smooth. Then season
Yeah.
finale, this happens.
Okay. I think there's no more echo now. Yeah, there's no more echo now.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah. So
Go
like,
on.
yeah, I completely agree with that. And the monetizing the art, it's really looked down upon when you like try to completely like incentivize your art and like try to monetize it and like. Wait, I think there's an echo again.
This is
Okay,
very, very
doesn't matter.
sad. Wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, like when you try to like go commercial with your art, people really look down upon it. And like we have this thing, I mean, you know, watch movies. How is that movie? Just completely commercial, like not worth it. But like people don't realize commercial art does have a very important place. Like Jaws is a very commercial movie. It's not an art film; it's a commercial film, and that movie really sets the stage for thrillers and summer blockbusters. What is that audio?
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear a lot of ambience. Okay, yeah,
Okay.
okay. We hope there's no echo now. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. This whole aspect of like looking down upon commercials and like uh, looking up to like art films and is really bad. Like even now when we think about music, as she said, like the indie artist and people look at like pop as this very like the entire pop thing is like a guilty pleasure aspect of music, right?
Yeah.
Wait, headphones cultivated. I can hear too much ambience.
Okay.
Ah, like people look at like pop and everything as like a guilty pleasure, while it's not deemed as real music, and like commercial is not real movies, and you're not really a film appreciator if you watch just commercial movies. Well, I think you should not just watch commercial movies, but like commercial movies do have their place in society, just like how pop has its place in like pop has its place in music. We all listen to it. We all like commercial movies. We all like the cheesy Rajini movie or the Vijay movie, but then we don't like say it. And yeah, that's what I wanted. That's my 2 cents on that topic. And as she said something about e-baby, right? Actually, we use something very similar for our podcast. We use Anchor. Anchor is what we use for our podcast. In case any of you guys want to do a podcast, we use Anchor. Anchor is a easy, free solution to get your podcast onto Spotify and any other means possible. It's a slight bit complicated, but like that's how we do it. That's our
Yeah.
distributor, the middleman.
Anchor actually really nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Anchor
Sorry
is really
about the audio. But yeah, hopefully things are fixed now. But yeah, I cannot agree with you. Oh, we're only 1 minute more. Okay. Then in that case, we will we will go live again, and Adi will be on top. And
yeah.
okay, no, that is not going to end well. But Adi is going to be where I am right now in the
I
frame,
will be. Yeah.
and, um,
But
and we will
basically, we
see you
have an
there.
amazing guest, and we have a lot of interesting questions for the next guest. Please
Yeah,
join in. Yeah,
yeah.
1 minute
Our
to
next case
yeah.
is going to be Unmele High Samataram. So, see you guys on the other side. Bye.
Bye.